guys, I'm Kathy Gregory, I'm 12 years old, and I'm a very keen chess player. I started playing chess at the age of 9, and I fell in love with the game. I am going to show you today some basic rules of chess, and I hope it has the same effect on you. So let's begin. Chess is a two-player game. The way you lay out your board is very important. So this is the board, and if you take a look at it, you can clearly see there's black and white squares. On your right side, there should be a white square, both on your side and on your opponent's side. Okay, so in chess, there's two colors, black and white. Right now, I will introduce you to the pieces of the game, and after that, you'll learn how they move. Okay, so this is called a pawn. Alright, then we have the two rooks. They kind of look like castles. Alright, after that we have the two knights. Pretty simple, they look like horses. Then we have the bishops. Then we have the bishops, followed by the king and the queen. This is the queen, and this is the king. Okay. Before we go on any further, I just want to explain the point of the game. The point of the game is to protect the king, as it is the most important part of the game, because if you lose the king, you lose the game. And as I said, it's a strategic game, and you have to make up a strategy to protect the king and get the other person's king. Or in other words, checkmate him. So let's get on with how each of the pieces move. So the pawn moves one square up by one only. So it will look like this. Okay. The way it captures pieces is diagonally by one. So if I have my rook over here, there's the pawn, it just goes and done. Pretty simple, the pawn. Alright, after that we have the two rooks. They are also very simple. They go up all the way, like they go forward, backwards, sideways, and the other side too. And sideways, basically. How they capture is pretty easy again. I'm just gonna have this. So if we have a pawn over here, there. If we have it over here, there. If it's over here, we can capture it. Then we have the two knights. Knights move in a pretty unique way. They're actually the only pieces that can jump over other pieces. So the way they move is you have to start counting from the square that the knight is on. So this one, that's 1, 2, 3, and they have to in either right or left. And they can do that in basically any direction, backwards, forward, sideways, up to you. That's the way they capture as well. So it will, in a game, it could look something like this. So here it is. 1, 2, 3, to the side, capture the pawn. There we go. After that, we have the two bishops. If you still haven't noticed, the two bishops, there's one bishop on a black square and one on a white square. They're pretty simple. They both move in the diagonally. The black one obviously moves on black squares. White one moves on white squares, only diagonally. That pretty much kind of explains how the bishop moves. It captures the same way. So if we have something like a pawn over here, it just has to move over. If it's over here, you can just move like that. And if it's on the white one here, like here, over here maybe. That's basically how the two bishops move. And then the king and the queen. The king, pretty simple. It moves like a pawn, except in all directions. So the king, if it's over here, it moves only by one, forwards, backwards, diagonally, of course. And then we also got sideways. The queen is something like the most powerful piece in the game. Many people like to save the queen till the end because it's easier to checkmate with the queen. So the queen moves in any direction, so it's basically every single piece in the game combined to one except the knight, because she can't jump over pieces. Okay, so she can move the sideways, forwards, and backwards, that pretty much covers the rook. Then we got the diagonal part, which pretty much covers the bishops, and then she can move forward or backwards and all of that, like a pawn or like a king. So, for example, if we have something like a knight over here, just simple. There I go. If we have like another queen over here, she can just get her. If it's like a bishop all the way over here, she can get it because she can move diagonal. Now don't forget, in chess, both players take turns. So if I move, my opponent moves, and so on. So finally, we have the question: how do we line up our pieces? Easy. You just have to have all of your pawns on the second line. So here's your first line, here's your second line. Over here it's first and second line. Let me just go. Okay, and then we have the two rooks. The two rooks, they go on the two corners on the side. Beside them, you have the two knights. And beside the two knights, you have the two bishops. And here we have the king and queen. King must be on his opposite color. Do not forget, please. The king must be on his opposite color. So this king is black. We put him on a white square. That's his opposite color. And the queen we put beside. This is how we basically line them up. White would line up their pieces, and white always begins. You must not forget that. White begins always, 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 always. Alright, so this is how it looks like at the end. And I hope you have fun playing chess. It's really a good game. I personally really love it. It's one of my favorite board games. And just don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. You can follow me on Twitter and all of that if you'd like to.